Hello, Melanie. How are you tonight? Hello, Nicole. Hi. It's been a little while. Sorry, I was on vacation last week. But I'm happy to be back. And I thought, since last time we started with the cement truck, that tonight we would work on the dump truck. So I was out. Unfortunately, I was out of town, so I wasn't able to do a live. Hey, Kay. But I want to do this awesome dump truck. So the last one that we did, I thought I had it right here on my desk. I was going to show you what we did the last time. Oh, I do have it right here. So we did this the last time we were together. We did a pink cement truck. Hi, Tracy. But tonight I thought we'd play with the dump truck. But what I wanted to do with the dump truck was, I'm going to actually mask. I'm going to stamp it twice. So we're going to put the dump truck on here 2 times. So that you guys can see the mask and you can see how it's done. So I'm going to start off by putting one dump truck right here. And then I already have a mask ready to go that we can use. So you could do these vehicles more than once on your page, so it's super fun. So we'll have 2 dump trucks to color. And I have this idea. I hope it works out. Hello, Mama. So we're going to try it and see what happens. I'm going to use my espresso to press down on my dump truck. So there's a dump truck. I want it to be just a tad bit darker. My ink pad is a little bit low. I need to refill it, but I just haven't done it yet. So I'm just going to stamp it twice, and that will make the image darker. So there we go. And then I wanted to do a second one. Hey. So I'm going to use this mask that I made a while back, and I know it looks kind of funny. It's got a wheel on it because I've done this masking once before for some of the for one of the cards that you guys probably saw online. So I just put this one over top of it, so really just stamping it on masking tape and then cutting it out on the black line. And then I'm going to move the truck, but first I want to clean it off. Otherwise, I'll get spots all over the place. Hi, Rinska. So I'm just going to use my little chamois I have. It's a new one, pretty much, kind of new. The other side's a little dirty, but it still has a new area on it. Ooh, squeaky. I'll try to do it carefully so it's not squeaky. And then I'm going to dry it with the other end so we can stamp right away. Trying not to make it squeaky for you guys. So I'm just going to peel this off. I'm going to stamp it on another piece of paper I just had laying around, just to make sure I got all the sticky off. And then I'm going to place it where I want it to be. So I want them to be kind of back to back, one behind the other. So I'm just trying to find my placement. So these guys are going to be traveling, kind of like traveling on the highway. Hi, Tiffany. So I don't want you to be able to see the front, like the wheel of it, but everything else is okay. I don't know how this is going to look when we get done, but we're going to try it out and see. You never know. So sometimes you just got to play around and see what happens. And that is what we are doing tonight. I just wanted to color. I hadn't decided what, so I just thought we'd wing it. Okay, so then we stamped this one. And since we stamped the ink twice on the other one, we have to do it again. Well, no, we don't. This one looks actually really good. Yep, it's in the same spot still. It looks really good, but I'm going to do it one more time just so it's consistent with the other one. Okay, and there we go. So now they look kind of funny because the mask is still on there, but I'll show you in a second what it's going to look like when I take the mask off. So by masking, we made it look like this dump truck is in front of that dump truck. So this is definitely a site with a lot of junk to get rid of in the dump truck. And then I'm going to put my mask back on. This is where I put it. I put it on top where the stamp goes on the stamp set so I can save it. So if I ever want to do it again, I can just use it again, and you can use it over and over, which is super awesome. I'm going to take my image out, and I'm just going to wipe this off real quick. Not a lot, because I don't want you guys to have to hear all that squeaky. And then I'll just get it off my Misty and clean it later. I'm going to put away my little chamois in my stamp chamois case with the holes in it so it can breathe. Hi, Janice. Okay. So now we have these two images, and I thought, since I was going to kind of do this a little bit on the Christmas side, I thought I'd do one red and one green truck, so they kind of look a little bit on the Christmas side. I don't know. I thought it would be fun. So that's what we're going to do. I hope that works out cool for you guys. I think what I'm going to do is, usually we do the whole vehicle the same color, but I think I'm going to break it up. See, so the whole one is red here, but I think I'm going to do just the front end red and green, and then this part a different color. Especially since you've already seen the red and green on the package, so I'll probably start with green and put red behind. So that's my plan. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the scene, but for now, this is what we got. And we'll just go from there. Pretty sure we're going to have to put a road in there and all kinds of stuff, but we'll do that later, probably on another night. So I won't keep you guys up too late tonight. So I'm going to choose some green colors. I want it to be a pretty deep green. So I'm going to swatch it out. That's usually how I test the colors I pick before I use them, just so I can make sure that the colors will go well together, and that I'll get a little bit of brightness in there. So I want to try these 5 colors. So what I have is G99, which is pretty dark. And then I have YG67, which I think works really well together. And I'll zoom in when we start coloring. YG17, so far so good. They're matching up. And YG63, nice. Pretty happy with that. Hello, Cheryl. And then YG03, just to brighten it up a little bit. So this is the green combination that we're going to go with. So since I'm pretty happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and put it into my Copic color blend stand. So I'll be ready for my green. And then I'm going to choose my red. So I'm going to go with pretty much the red that I really, really like. Just because I know that I really like it. So we're going to roll with that. think. Hi, Stacy. So this is our 89. I know I'll like that one. And then this is our 39. It's got more of a pinky red. So I could have went with 29, but I just kind of like that 39. And then this is our 46, which brings it into that really red color. And then I can't decide after that which one I want to use. So let's try 43 first. This is going to make it really pink, so we might have to change that color. And then 24. Yeah, I think I'm good with 24 going next to the 46, but I need a different color because I don't want to go that pink on my little truck. So maybe I'll go with let's see, what about R14? Maybe that will be okay. Oh yeah, that's better. Let's do that. So I think I'm going to go with those colors for red. So I'm going to put them in my other stand. Now this was a prototype, so I just have this extra one. This is R89, 39, 46, 24, and 14. So we're just going to put those aside so we can do those later. Is Coop okay? I have Cooper here tonight. He's not really feeling the going to bed moment, so we're struggling a little with that. I think for the back end, I think I'm going to make them gray. I don't know, but we'll try it. Hello, Lily. So I'm just going to go with the T's for my gray. So that is, I'm just going to choose T9, 7, 6, 5, 4. All in a row, but they change. They look a lot different when you do them. So I have those. And then I'm going to want to use some cool grays for, I'll point with my little pointer. Cool grays, I think I want to do cool grays on the little wheels in here. Or I might make those red. I haven't decided. And then all this underside stuff and metal that's going to be, I want to use cool gray for that, but I want it to be kind of light. So I think I'm going to start the shadow being C6, then I'm going to go to 4 and 2. I think I'm just going to use 3. We'll see how that goes and we'll go from there. I don't always pick my colors right away, but I figured since we were going to get started, I might as well pick out the ones I know, and then if we decide to switch, we can switch. So for the tires, I want them to be a little bit darker and warmer gray. So I'm going to go with, I'm actually going to pick 5 colors, but I don't know if I'll use them all. I'm going to use my warm grays, W87654, just for a little bit of warmer gray in those. The only thing that I can think of off the top of my head that I have left are the windows, which I'm going to use C1, B000, and the colorless blender. I might have to add one more gray to that, maybe C00. I think I'll add that one in there too. So that's what we'll do the windows with. And maybe we'll just start with the windows. Okay. So, who's ready to get started? Are you guys ready to get started? Woo-hoo. I am. I haven't been able to color in a while, so I'm super excited. Hi, Eileen. How are you? Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom in. Hopefully, if I can get, there we go. Maybe just a tad bit more. I know you guys like to really be able to see what we're doing as we're doing it. So I'm going to zoom in. Okay, and we're going to start with the windows. So I'm going to start with C1, B000, and then C00, and the colorless blender. So I know you can't see those quite as well, because I zoomed in so far, but that's okay. We're going to start with our C1. And this is where we're going to put any shadow-ish colors on the window. Now, I like the top. I like to do the top of the front window pretty thick, and then really thinly around the rest. So I know you can't see that very well because it's gray and it's very light, but I kind of go around the windows, and I know that's really hard to see, but when we start putting the color in, you'll be able to really see it. So we're just going to start with those light colors for now. I'm doing a couple of layers at the top because I like it to be a little bit darker up there. We may go back in and touch that again just to make that a little more clear. But we'll just see as we go. Sometimes you can't plan it all. You just got to guess. Oh, you love your coloring evening. I'm so glad. I miss you guys too. I was telling Jamie tonight thought I was going to have to go babysit Cooper over at Cooper's house. And I was like, oh no, I can't. I have to do my live. And Jamie was like, I'll do it for you. And I said, oh, but I want to do it. I miss the girls and everyone that comes to watch. And so she was like, okay, you can do it. So for the blue color, I always go over and a little bit around the edge of where I put the last color. This blue, you'll be able to see it right now, but you won't really be able to see it that much once I put the gray back over it. It just gives it a little bit more of a window feel, and I like that. So that's the way I do it. You can choose to use all grays if you want. If you prefer your windows to be gray. I like my windows a little tinted, so they get a little blue. I love the coloring evenings with you guys too. It makes me really happy. It helps my mood and everything. So I'm glad you guys came to visit with me tonight. Okay, this one is C00. I'm going to cover a little bit more of the window now. I'm not going over what I already did. I'm just pushing back that color. So I am going over the rest of the window with this color, but not over all of what I already put in there. So when I come in with the colorless blender, that's when it'll wash out some of that blue and make it look a little bit more. It'll look a little blue, but not too blue. And you can always go with B_0 if you think the blue is too stark for you. But I'm going to use my colorless blender, and I'm going to go over all of it. And this is just going to blend those colors together. It'll lighten them a little bit, it'll push them around, and it makes them the color that I like. So now they look a little more like a window but I love the blue tint to glass. So I'm going to take my C1 one more time, and I'm going to go over just this top part, because to me there's always that dark spot on your windshield, like to keep the sun from blinding you. Even though you do have a visor for that, but I like it this way. So there we go. Those are the windows. And now I think, oh, I should have left those in there. Holy cow. I forgot about the headlights. We should do the headlights too. And you can't really see them on this one, so I don't have to worry about that, but there is one right here. So I'm going to use the C1. And I'm going to go just on the underside of it. You don't have to put very much of this color in there, of course. I am going to use the B00 again, but this time I'm going to just touch it a little bit lighter than I did the last time. Finish with my C00, starting from the empty area and going back. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my colorless blender, starting in the no ink area and then going out. So this will be a little bit easier to see once the other colors get colored on the truck, but for now, trust me, they're there. They're there. Okay, and I think what will make it easier for me is to go ahead and do the parts that I want to be gray. So I'm going to pull out the C6, 4, and 2. And I'm going to start with the 6, which is still pretty dark, but not too bad. Okay, so C6 is going to be pretty dark, but we're going to wing it anyway. So I would like to make this arm right here in the really light gray. So I'm going to just put this kind of in the wherever I want the real big shadow to be. I'm not going to put a whole lot of it because I don't want it to end up that dark. But it can also be a little bit dirty, you know, because that happens. Are you guys done with all the shows now for the year? Yes, we are. But I am busy, busy, busy drawing art for the next year. So I've been super busy drawing lots of cool stuff for you guys in the next year. It is already started. I am excited. I cannot wait for you guys to see new stuff. Okay, and then I want to make, this is the mud flat. So I think I'm going to make that the same color as the tire, but this part is like the undercarriage where the back of the truck is, and I want that to be the shiny grays, a little more shiny. So I'm just going to put a line in here underneath. It's a little bit thicker than I wanted, but that's because I'm trying to hold my pen a little different than I normally would. Yeah, we did, and it's going to start up again, but not yet. We got a little bit of a break, which is super great. And then there's this area up under here, which is kind of the underside of the vehicle, which I want to also make just a little bit darker. And then also this thing right here, which holds a lot of all the driving gear stuff, I guess. It was what I had in mind when I drew this. So I'm going to make that in the dark shiny gray too. And then we'll color that in and see what we think before we do the other one. Okay, so C4 is the next one. Yeah, we did work pretty hard, but we're super happy. And if you guys shopped during the sale, thank you. We really appreciate it. The sale was super fun. We got to post all kinds of our designs and everything while we were advertising. It was really fun. There we go. So we're starting to get some shiny in here. So next, this one. I am kind of going over the last color I put there because I really, and extending out just a little bit because I really want to keep that somewhat dark but not too dark, if that makes sense. It always is fine if it looks like it's dirty because it is under the vehicle and they get pretty dirty, so that's okay with me. For my little truck, my little dump truck. Joy Wilson should be here. She could see how to color my dump truck. I'm going to tell you, her husband asked her to do a dump truck. Oh, you're welcome, Renska. Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle. We're trying to get everything in stock. It's just so hard because the distributor that makes our stuff, they're so far behind. That's why I'm already drawing for the next year's stuff so we can get the orders done ahead of time. But yeah, some of the stuff went pretty fast. C2 is the last color, so I'm going to start filling in the rest of this area. I think I'm going to turn this upside down so I can do it a little better and you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just coloring in the white area and pushing back the color that we already colored. Is it raining? Ooh, we got some wind going on outside. And Jack's home now, so you'll be glad to hear that, Michelle. He's a little quiet because he was super excited to be back home. He was just whining and happy camper. There we go. I like the way that's looking so far. That's making me happy. Okay, so we're going to blend out these colors, kind of soften that area where the line is because I don't want you to be able to see that line. So this is blending really well. We don't usually send out emails to tell when things are back in stock, but we have a few items that have been out of stock for a little while, so you will see one coming soon with some stuff that's back in stock that's been out for a little bit that we've had a lot of inquiries about. So if you're on the mailing list, be on the lookout, and if you're not on the mailing list, you should get on the mailing list. We don't send that many. We sent a few extra ones this month just because of the sale. We didn't want anyone to miss out. But we usually only send one at new release time. But like I said, next month we'll probably have an extra one because we're going to let you guys know when a few of the things people have been waiting for are back in stock. So I really like how that's coming out. Hi, Danielle. Oh, yeah. Crazy weather. Yep. Yeah, I can already hear the wind blowing like crazy out there. So I'm pretty sure it's going to get just a little bit wicked here.
She got a question.
The dye you did for the make and takes. Yes. Yeah, you mean at the booth make and take, the Sweet Keeper? That's why I haven't done the Sweet Keeper video yet. It's on my list to do a Sweet Keeper video to show you all the different uses you could do with the Sweet Keeper. But I haven't done that yet because it's not in stock right now. But it has already been ordered. It is in process, and somewhere around the first week of December, it should be shipped to us. So we're just patiently waiting. We did check on it today because we've had a lot of requests. But at the shows, man, people just went crazy for it. So we sold out at the last show. We had to order more, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. I decided I liked how that looked, so I'm doing the back one as well. Fortunately, you can't see it all. So I don't have to color quite as much as I did before. That's pretty much all you can see. Yep, that's what you want. Yes, you want that one too. Yeah, I know, it's super awesome, and I'm going to do a video on all the different things you can make with it as soon as we have it back in stock, so be on the lookout for that. I'll probably cut some of the stuff ahead of time so the video is not as long, but I'll still explain everything as I go through, so you'll know. Plus, it comes with instructions, so you'll have that plus the video. I know Jamie made 1 or 2 videos about the Sweet Keeper already, but I want to do one that kind of goes like it is at the make and take, so those who didn't get to go to the make and take will know how it works and all the different things you can do with it. But it's super awesome. I love that one. And now I'm working on a new one for this year, so be ready. There'll be new stuff coming. I have a lot of work to do in my off time, but hey, at least it's fun stuff. I guess that's what happens when you're the artist and the co-owner. You got to do all the things. I love that. So this is my C2, and I'm just going through and blending out that color. I'm leaving it a little chunky in some places because I want it to kind of look dirty, so I'm doing that on purpose. Otherwise, I would have chosen colors that were closer together. But I don't really want it to be like that. I want it to be a little rough looking. So I'm doing that on purpose, just in case you guys were wondering. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. That makes me feel so good. I'm glad you like them. I work really hard to try to get stuff I think you guys would like. So now that I got to this point, I think I want to do the underside of the truck up here and the front. I don't even know what you call that, but the grill, the bumper, and the undercarriage area. I want to do that in the same color. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going. This part up in the front, I'm only going to do just a small part at the bottom in the darkest color. This one I'm just going to do just a teeny bit in the corner, a little bit on the bottom. And then underneath here, I'll use more of it because I want it to look darker and more shadowed. Well, if you like the images, get ready. There'll be more to come because I'm already working on them. And new stencils and new, everything new. So this part right here is where we stamped, but I'm just going to touch it with this color so that it looks like that. It's the underside as well. I went a little over, but we'll fix that with the colorless blender, so no worries. Okay, so C4 is our next one. And this one I'm going to do just a little bit more. But I'm going to leave a lot of white because I want that to be pretty light. So same with this one. Just putting some in there, not too much. But under here, I'm putting a lot more. So I want this to be a little bit darker. A little bit darker under there. I wanted to do these vehicles so bad, almost as bad as I wanted to do the dinosaurs. I love the dinosaurs. So C2, I'm just going to put a little bit of that in the area. I'm not going to do a lot of blending on that because I want to keep it pretty bright. Same with this one. So see, same colors, but this is much lighter than that. And that's what I love about these colors is you can keep blending these colors in different ways. Even though they're the same numbers, it just depends on how you do it. So I'm just kind of filling in this one, and I'm realizing that that's significantly lighter than I really wanted the underside to be. So I think we're going to go over that again to darken it up a little bit. Because these will get some light, but this won't get much light. So we're going to hit that one more time. Just following the same pattern, C6. I don't know if you knew, but if you let it dry and then you go over it with the colors again, it makes it one shade darker. So each piece will look one shade darker than the color that I originally put down. And that's what I want, just about a shade darker. This one is C4. You'll probably notice I'm filling in a lot more with these two higher numbers, and then I'm just going to hit it with the last one just a little bit because I want it to remain just slightly darker. Because if I hit it too much with this one, it'll be light, light, light. Okay, so there we go. We got two cars, and they are hauling for some presents, I think. Okay. So now I have to decide. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the C1 and the C0, but we're going to leave the blue out this time. because it's not going to be for a window. So I'm just reusing the colors I already used. So I'm going to use C1, well that's upside down, C00, and the colorless blender, and I'm going to do the wheel area. So this area right here, just going to put a little bit around the edge with this one, and maybe around the center part. It's very, very light and it's very, very thin, so it's a little hard to see. Again, like we talked about earlier. And I'm going to do this one back here because these are such small spaces. So that it's really, really light, definitely hard for you to see, I know. I'm going to use the C00, but they'll stand out a lot when we get done, which is what I want. So now I'm blending out that color with my C00. And then I'm going to go in one more time with my C1 and do the bottom part here, so it's a little bit darker. The bottom part here. And then while we talk for a second, I'm going to let that dry just a little bit. And then I'm going to hit it with the colorless blender. Just to lighten it up a bit. And when I do that, I'm going to do it more in like a horseshoe. So I want to put just a little bit of that light color in there on the tops. So not too much, just a little bit. This will push that color back and allow it to look more shiny at the top. So hard to see, but if you look really hard, you can tell. Or if I hold it up, you might be able to tell a little better that it's got some gray in it, but not much. It's really, really light. There's a little bit more maybe on that one, but that's okay. I'm good with that. Okay, so now we get to move on. Look at that, I made a mess on that marker. Do you see that? That drives me crazy. I'll have to clean that one afterwards. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the wheels. That way we'll get all of the grayish colors out of the way before we get going with our other colors. I think there's one spot, though, that I missed that I want to go back with this C6 and color in. This little area right here behind the stairs to step into the truck, I missed that one little spot and I wanted to make that dark. So there we go. I don't have to do it on the other one because you can't see the stairs on the other one. So we're going to start now. This is W8. W7, these all go in a row, 6, 5, and 4. So this is going to be my wheel color. So we're going to start with the W8. And I'm going to do the bottom part of the wheel. And notice how I'm doing it in small strokes. I didn't do a straight solid line. Just kind of did it in small strokes. And then I'm also going to go around the wheel. This is going to make that gray part that I put in the center really stand out. So we're going to do the same thing on all the wheels. Trying to hold it on the side so you guys can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. It's a little bit harder on this part because you really need the tip of that marker so you don't make it too thick. But this will also make those areas look sunken in when we get done, so it'll give you a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. The wheel in the back. And I'm okay if my strokes kind of have some little hairy ones sticking out because that'll just give it texture when I get done. If you're doing this with me, then don't worry if your lines are thicker than mine. It's okay. You just have to hold your marker as high upright as you can. Someone's not watching you, so you can do yours a little bit higher than I can do mine. And then we're going to move on to W7. There's not a lot of color difference between W8 and W7. So W7 is what I'm going to use on the top part of this wheel. I'm okay with it being slightly lighter on the top of the wheel than on the bottom. I'm not going to touch the center piece at this time. Just going to take a bigger jump when I go from one to the other. I want that deep dark to really stand out. So right now they look kind of funny, but no worries, we'll get there. So then W6 will be next. And like we do with skin tones, I'm going to push this color, this deep dark color back into itself. I'm going to rotate my paper, make it a little bit easier. Came down a little lower than I wanted on that, but I think I'm okay with it. Gonna have to be because it's done. It's already a done deal. But I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing, so those are the potential issues I can run into. Pushing back into the color here. So I hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. I hope if you traveled, your road travel was better than mine. We had a lot of traffic. It took us 2 more hours longer to get where we were going than what it normally does. So that was a little frustrating. Okay, so W5 is the next one. So this is quite a difference from the W8. So what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to start pushing this color back, but I'm going to do it from both sides. So I'm going to do this one. And then I'm going to do this inside one. I know it's a big jump, and I'm okay with that because I really want that to look like it's inset on the vehicle. And I think that will help, having that dark color in there. We're leaving the lightest color for us to do with the last color in our combination. And then now we're going to do this one really gently around there. It's okay if you have fat finger syndrome like I have right now, where some of the places are colored in all the way and some of them aren't, because it'll work out really great. Oh, your kids visited? Oh, that's awesome, Rinska. Oh, you love the tires? They're super fun, but I think they look the best when you do them with the W's. I mean, you could do them with the T's or the N's, but I like them best when I use the W's. I think they just really make those wheels pop. Okay, so then we have one color left. Isn't it kind of looking like 3-dimensional just looking at it like that? I love it. Okay, so W4 is the last color in our combination. So I am going to go along this center part. Again, I'm kind of pushing the color back into where it should be, and you can see it. Can you see that that line showing up? I want that line to be there. So kind of pushing back all that color so I can have that bright line, which makes them look more round. That's a little trick that will help a lot. Now, if you have a few spots that didn't blend so well, you can go in there and touch in other places, but just going around and around with this color will move those darker inks out of the way and make this tire look more dimensional. So you see? It's super cool, huh? Hi, Jim and Diana. You got done with dinner and hopefully your last plate of Thanksgiving food. Well, we traveled, so we only got Thanksgiving leftovers the next day, and then we got home and we had none. But we did have retreat leftovers, so we've been munching on the retreat leftovers. Because it was by my house, so clearly the leftovers came here. Now, if you get too much color in there and you don't get it the white area that you really, really wanted, you can choose the next W down and lighten that up. It's just about your preference and your taste. That worked out really good. But I'm going to go back with my W5 real quick and darken this back up because I lightened that up just a little bit too much. So there we go. That's the next one. And then we're going to do this one. Same way. Just start working that circle that you want. So as you can see, it's just going over and over. As long as it's wet, it's going to move the ink. Once it dries, it's going to make it a shade darker. So you don't want to let it dry. You just want to keep going. And then just smooth out your line. And there you go. So not too hard to do them. You love the leftovers. I like leftovers too, especially turkey, but we didn't have leftover turkey. But we had gumbo because, you know, I was in Louisiana and that's Dale's family does the gumbo thing. Oh, and I put these away and I don't want to put these away just yet because I want to do the mud flap in this color as well because it would be dirty as well. But I don't want it to be really dark, so I'm just going to skip this W08 and start with the 07. And I'm just going to do this little mud flap, that color. So I'm just putting where the darkest shadow would be, and I'm going to do it on both of them. So a little bit here, then along this area, and then a little bit here, and that's it. Enough is enough. Yes, Dale's mom's gumbo is really good. So I am going to use the W6, and then I think I'm going to jump to the W4. So this will be my middle color. Yeah, her gumbo is really good. Gumbo and rice. Yum. There we go. And then I'm going to skip to the W4. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to blend these colors together. I'm not going to do too much, but I want to lighten up some of those areas and make these mud flaps look a little dirty and a little old. And what is gumbo? Oh, it's like a brothy stuff, like a soup kind of, but it has chicken and sausage and all kinds of stuff in it. And then you put it over rice. It's really good. I'm not a cook by any means. In fact, I never cook. My husband does all the cooking. So I could not tell you what's in it exactly, but it's a good Louisiana thing. Sometimes they put shrimp in it and stuff like that, but we didn't put shrimp in it this time. It just had chicken and sausage. It's really good. You put it over rice and it's yummy, yummy. I love it. Shrimp, fish, sausage, whatever you want to put in it. Really good. Okay, so now we have the bottom parts of our vehicles done. The next part, I was going to do the rest of this in the green and the rest of this in red, and then I was going to do the backs of the trucks in gray. but I was going to use the T's, so it would look significantly different than the other part, but I'm not sure if I want to do it all the same color or if I want to do it the gray, so I'm going to start with the cabs, and then if I decide I want to do it all, I can, and if not, then no thanks. Mine just had chicken and sausage in it, but I really liked it. Okay, so we're going to start with our greens. These are our greens again, G99, YG67, YG17, YG63, and YG03. Hi, Tyler. Oh, you jumped in. Sneaky Pete. Okay, we're going to start with our G99. Now, this part, I'll point with this so I don't touch it by mistake, but this part right here, this line right here, is between the back end and the cab, so we won't be coloring this line right here. Just so you know, as we go along, that we're not going to be coloring that. Okay, so this is our darkest shade, so I'm going to put some up here in this corner where that part of the dump will cover it. I put a little here, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put a little where the car, like where the door and the car bend, and then around here on the front end. I'm also going to go, I'm making sure I'm on the screen, I'm also going to go here and kind of put a little bit right here just to give it that little bit of color in there, and then down here as well. So there we go, we have a little bit of our green in there. It's a dark green, so it's a little hard to tell what color it's going to be when we get done. I'm going to do this part right here, a little bit down here in the corners, not too much, just a little bit right here too. And then I'm going to do just a little bit underneath this window because I want this window to stand out. And then I'm going to do the steps. So I want this part a little bit because we're going to make these steps green as well. So just on the corners and then a little bit in here because we want the step to look inset. So I'm going to do it like that. It's going to almost start showing that it's going to look a little dimensional. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Gun shy, Tyler, you're not talking. Okay, I'm also going to do just a little bit here so it looks like there's a little lip there. So that's my green so far. I'm a little bit high. There we go. Stay in the picture. Alright, YG67 is next. So I'm just going to start extending out from where I put those last colors. And this one's going to be just a little bit more green than the very dark shade we already used. So just extending out from where I put the previous color. This one looks, this pen feels like it's not putting any ink on the paper, so I'm just going to check it real quick and make sure it's working the way it's supposed to. And then I'm going to start extending out from where I put these other colors. Same here. And here. I skipped this part for now because I have so much going on right here that I wanted to skip that part. Now I'm going to go down the line where the door is, just so I can keep a little bit of dimension between those two. I'm going to do it on this side too. And then we're just going to come out from where we put this color. Same thing here, a little bit further on that one. Hi, Krista. And then this, we're going to start filling in just a little bit because we need this to look more sunken in, you know, because of the way the steps look. And we'll have the part that sticks out be a little bit brighter, lighter color. Okay, so there we go. We don't have a whole lot on the door yet, so I think I'm going to put a little bit here where the door handle is, just to kind of get us a little bit of that green in there. And I think I'm going to start doing a little bit out like this, just because we have 3 more colors, but I don't want the door to look way different than the rest of the vehicle. So we're just going to start with that. We'll do this last bumper later. I think we just don't have enough. This is a lot of space to cover, and I don't want it to dry before I get to all the pieces parts. So YG17 is next. I'm going to start filling this in, extending out from where we put the last color. This is a pretty bright color. So I want to use it. It's also the true color, so I'm going to use it just a little bit more than I've been using the other colors. Are you guys mesmerized? Look at this little truck coming to life. I'm liking it. I hope you guys are liking it too. I'm going to extend a little bit on the front of the steps, and then I'm going to do more inside here. I want this to start looking like it's really steps. Okay, so there we go. We're starting to come together. It's going to look better when we get the bumper on there, but the fender or whatever you want to call it. Yes, mesmerized. Watching YG63. It's the next color. I'm going to kind of leave this top part alone. The very, very top of the vehicle. I want to use the last color for that. I'm going to start blending these colors together a little bit, and then I'll do a little bit of overpass with the final color because it's significantly lighter. So it's going to lighten up our colors. So I'm not going to leave a whole lot uncolored. And that's just learning how your markers work. That'll help you decide when to do more, when to do less. So these steps, we'll finish off the inside part of these steps. We'll go over it with the lighter color, but for now we want it to look deeper than the other part. Okay, so this, we're going to start extending out with this color. This is going to be a really pretty color when it gets done, I think. Alright, so we have one color to go. We have YG03. So that's this one. And now we're going to start blending those colors together. It's also going to lighten up some of the areas, so we're going to be a little careful. So we want to see this color, but not too awful much. I want this truck to be a really deep green, so it's not going to have a whole lot of this one. We're going to do some back and forth here to blend this out. Now look at how beautiful that was. That went so well. I am going to go over these steps real quick and the front part of the steps. I need them to stand out so they look like they're out a little bit further than the rest. And then here we go. A little bit of light on the hood. A little bit of light here. So now that I have that part done, it's time to work on this part of the truck. I love coloring these trucks. They're so much fun. And I'll show you before I start on the fender, like how this looks up close. Isn't that pretty? It really shows some shadow and everything. I mean, I like it. I'm happy with it. Thank you. Awesome and nice. Woohoo! Okay, so G99 is next. This is where we're going to start doing this fender part right here. I want it to be darker at the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. I want it to be darker around the wheel and a little bit out to the front. And then just for grins, I'm going to put a little bit of this dark color under the light because I want that to stay deepened. You love it? Thank you. I'm liking how it's coming out. I'm super happy so far. But you know, I could be super happy 3/4 of the way through and mess it up. You never know. YG67 is next. So I'm going to extend out from there. I do want to do the bottom side of this fender area here. And then I'm going to do just a little bit above the light. And again, when you're coloring your vehicle, you can put the shadows and the different tones wherever you want. It's your awesome vehicle. Okay, so this is the true color, so it's going to get a little bit more of this color. So we're going to do the top, and we're going to do the bottom, where we have that darker color. We're also going to do underneath the light, and in this area right here. And we're going to leave that little spot for the last two colors. So we have YG63. I'm going to go over this a little bit to smooth it out. Extend. I'm going to be pushing that color back just a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing with the side. Pushing that color back just a little bit, leaving a very tiny area for this last color. And the last color is going to be YG03. And since I'm not going to color with it long, I'm going to leave the cap on. Chance I'll take. I'm going to blend this out. There we go. So now we have this nice fender here. So up close, this is what it looks like. A little more light on that. I think I want to go in with the true color, the YG17, and darken this roof up. I think it looks just a little bit funny. I thought I wanted that to be lighter, but I wasn't real happy with how that looked, so I went in and fixed it. I also had gotten a little bit outside the lines, so when that dries, we'll push that back in. All right, so now we have the front of our green truck, and then we're going to do I think we are going to do these gray. I think it'll be fun. That you have on the website, do they come already colored or blank? They come both. You get a copy of the already colored, and you get blanks so you can color them yourself. So you get both. And I've been working on mine diligently, like very hard for the past couple of weeks. I have a bunch of sheets done. These are all the ones I did. And that these are all colored by me. And I have the green, and the yellows, and the purples, and the blues, and the pinks, and the teals, and the peachy oranges. And then these are the ones that are actually colored. Depending on your printer, they sometimes come out a little bit different. So what I mean by that is, and I'll show you the difference. So it gives you an idea of the color, but look at this right here. So this is when I printed it out on Sweet Sentiment paper. This is what it looks like when I colored it on Sweet Sentiment paper. So yes, you get it colored, but you also get to color it yourself, and you'll be able to see what the true color will turn out. So I guess if you have maybe a better printer than mine or a different printer than mine, one with more colors, you might get a more vibrant one. But this is what you get when you print it out on your printer, and this is what you get when you color it yourself. So while you get them colored, it's always better to do it yourself because you get such much more beautiful color when you do it yourself. So that's what I'm working on. And I still have three color families left to go. So there's quite a few color families on there. So if you are interested in the color cards and playing with them and having color combinations, it's a great tool. And we have quite a few and a few more in the making on the way. So yippee! R89, R39, R46, R24. It is a good teaching tool. And R14. It's a very good teaching tool. And it's a repetitive coloring. So you can look at how Jamie shadowed the ones that you printed out. And then you can try to repeat that on your images. And each set has 6 different combos on it. So you get to do that over and over and over. And it is so helpful. So one little key before I get back to my little trucks is that when I do it, I color all the skin tones exactly the same color. So I choose one skin color combination, whatever color you want. It can be, light skin, really light skin, darker skin, whatever color you want, but I do them all the same. Yeah, you should have gotten them over the weekend. And then that way you can truly see the color changing on the 6 images if all your skin tone on that particular sheet is the same color. It's very helpful. So just to let you know. And then I colored the hair and the shoes and the dress and everything but the skin tone in that color combo that is listed on the left. That's how I did them. I like the way they came out. I'm super happy with them. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do the red. You guys know I don't like to do the red right next to where I'm going to do light gray, but I really want to see what this looks like before I do the gray. So I'm going to run with the red, but when it's this deep red, I'm always afraid that I might pull the red into the gray. So we're going to go for it and hope we don't do that. But if I do, you're warned that I might do it. Okay. So remember that place in between is not part of the vehicle, so it's the in between. I'm going to kind of do this similar to the way I did the other one. It's going to be shadowed by the one in front of it. And I can do the fender because it's a very small spot. But yeah, they're really good. I mean, even that's okay anytime, Michelle. That's why I really decided to do every single one of them myself rather than every single color card combo, so I could see how I felt about it for recommending it to you guys. I wanted to actually do it myself, and that way I can say, I think they're a great tool. I did it. It's a lot of work, a lot of work. It takes a long time to do them all, but it's so worth it. It's so helpful, and the color combos are so pretty, and I can't wait to put them in my memory decks. I'm really excited about them. Remember, we did that one line underneath the window. So I just put in my darkest red color, which is R89. And now we're going to go to R39, and we're going to extend out from where we put the darkest color. So I'm going to do a little bit on this side. Remember, I didn't really like the roof being as light colored as it was, so I'm going to be a little bit different with that this time. Definitely want to show the seam of the door. Definitely don't want to get this red on that other truck because I want to do it in gray. So if I touch this truck with red, I'm not going to get that off of there. So I'm going to be a little bit cautious when I go around that area so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm really happy with the color cards, and that's why we're going to make some more, because I think they're extremely helpful, and if you actually do them yourself and not just use the colored ones, you'll really learn a lot while you're doing it. So thank you for asking that question. Sometimes I like other stuff to talk about. Okay, so we got our second color of red. I probably should extend up a little bit on this one just because I think it's going to be too light if I don't. And now we're at the true color, so we're going to put a little bit more of this color in there. This is where we're going to start filling in the door. This is R46. It's called Strong Red, and it's my favorite red. So I'm going to just do the top of the, fill the top of the car in with that color because, you know, I didn't like the other color on the top. I'm going to go around the window and then around the door frame, a little bit towards the front, around this window frame again. I have to hold my marker up right because I really need to get some of that color in there. I really want to try to go along the edge of the back of the car. That's a little challenging if you're not used to doing things that small. So be cautious when you do it. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. So starting to color in this. This is my favorite red, so it's going to be a pretty, pretty red. I use this red color all the time with lots of combinations because I like it so much. Look at how bright that red truck is. These are going to look like they are hauling a ton of Christmas presents. R24 is next. And I think they're going to look really cool if they have a different color background. So I am going to do them in the gray, I think. I'm starting to fill this in. I'm going to leave spots open for the lightest color. Little spots, not big spots, but little spots for the light color. Blending these together. Want to make sure I get rid of those harsh lines, so notice how I let it sit for a minute, and now I'm going to go over just where those harsh lines are and watch how they smooth out. That's pretty cool, huh? That worked out really good. Hi, Harlan. How are you? Thank you for jumping on for a sec. We're coloring some cool trucks. R14 is our last color, so that's where we're going to start filling in. We're going to go over some of the spots that we had that were really, really light. If we get them too light, we can always go back with the true color and fix it. But I think I'm going to like it with these light colors. Kind of doing both back and forth a little bit. I want to make sure I get those harsh lines to disappear. don't want to go over too much of the really dark area because it'll lighten it up. So I'm just kind of putting in a little bit of that red in there. And I'll hold that up close so you guys can see it. It's got some different colors, different color reds in there. I think it needs a little bit more right here. This looks too light. And this area right here looks a little too light for me. And right there. And I missed a whole section right there. You guys let me do that whole thing and I missed a whole section. That's okay. We'll go back and fix it. I'm going to go to R46. Oh, I hear the baby crying. Hold, please. Dale. I need to go check on that. Hold on. My grandson's upstairs sleeping and he's crying. Give me 1 second, please. Okay. Sorry about that. Yes, it's going to be a Christmas card. Sorry, I could hear the grandbaby crying, and my husband wears headphones on his gaming when I'm on the video with you guys. If he's not sitting out here, so I had to go tell him to go see why the baby's crying. Okay, R14 is the last one. That's where I'm going to blend this out. Thank you. Thank you for being understanding. I really appreciate it. I think this one got a little bit too dark, so I'm going over it one more time with the R24. That makes it much better to me. Okay, so we're done with the red. Yes, I want to make it a Christmas card. Red and green trucks. I don't know what the sentiment is going to be at this point, but I think it would be really cute to have the red and green trucks. And I really want the cabs to stand out. So I'm going to do the backs a different color. So I'm going to do those with my T's. So, you know, we did the wheels with W's, we did the underside with the C's, and this is going to be the T's. Now, a lot of people ask, what's the difference between all the different grays? Well, you're going to be able to see them all right now.
Hey, you got any chapstick?
I do.
His lips are really chapped.
Where's my purse? If you can hand me my purse, I can get you the chapstick. So T9, have a trucking good Christmas. That's awesome. 9, 7, 6, 5, and 4. So this is going to give you guys a really good look because this is W's, this is C's, and now we're going to do T's. I promise my purse is not that big. Yeah, this is, it's got peppermint oil. It's going to kind of burn, but just tell them it's okay and have them drink water afterwards. But it will help. Okay. You could not help it. I love it. That's a great idea. I might actually do that. Because I think that's funny. Okay, so here is our T9. So I want to do a couple of things when I color this. So I'm going to do one at a time. We're going to start with this one so I see if I pull any of the red in, which I really don't, hope I don't, but we're going to try it anyway. So I'm going to start putting in the shadow area, but I want to say if you really want this in to look inset, you have to put some shadowing in there to really give that effect. So I'm going to start with these inside first. So I really want to put some here and then here. Always on the top makes it look a little bit more inset than if you put it on the bottom. I know that sounds strange, but I promise it looks better that way. and I want it to really look inset, so I'm going to put that dark all the way across. And now I'm going to do kind of the same thing with this one, just putting that really dark color. And then of course this is over top, so we want to put a little bit down here as well. Across. I'm going to do this back part right here and then all the way across here. So I'm going to repeat the same thing. So down this side, then across here. We need a little bit here because that bar is over top. Is he good now? Mm-hmm. Thanks, hon. Okay, so that is how we start off showing that. Now I also want to put some shadow area around here, just around the very bottom. Now I'm going to hold my marker upright and try to touch just right underneath where that bar ends. Okay? And I want there to be a little bit of shadow right here. And then the rest is going to be right here along where this truck is. Where the front of the truck is. So I'm just going to do these small brush strokes all the way down here, getting a little bit longer as I get down to the bottom of the truck. So there we go. I'm not going to put any along this part for right now. I just want it to be like this. Okay, so T7 is next. And instead of pushing the color back, I'm going to push it back on these inside pieces, but I'm going to pull it out on this one. So watch how I do this. So I'm going to push this back in. So I'm pushing the color towards the top because I want to keep that really dark color up there. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And I'm going to do the same thing with this last one. Okay, now what I'm going to do with this part is I'm going to do that pulling the color out. So pulling from the dark color and extending a little bit further. So the other one we went this way, and this one we're going this way. We're going to go along this bottom, but just very lightly. I'm going to stop before that. Put a little bit there, and there we go. So this is where we are so far on this. We're going to do the exact same thing with this one, so we can chit chat when we get to that part, but this is our true color, so this is T6. So this one, because I want to keep this really light on the inside here, I'm going to go ahead and finish that one because this is where more of the shadow is. And then I'm going to go real thin line along the bottom. So pushing back again. And then a really thin line along the bottom. So barely touching the paper. It's okay if it's bumpy or if your hand isn't as steady. Mine's a little bumpy too. Then I'm going to go along this line right here. Almost like tracing the line, but tracing it right above it so that you don't go under the line. Here we go. Just along the line like that. And then, because this is the true color, I'm going to start extending out a little bit further. Do a little bit here. A little bit here, and then I'm going to start going around the outside of the vehicle because this is my true color, and I want to make it an edge here. This is the part we're hoping we don't touch any red because we'll be super unhappy if we do. Now I guess we could have made those insets the same color as the truck, but that's for another day. Extend this out. I also want to do a little bit from here. Just to start filling in that vehicle. So my next one is T5. Now notice we didn't do anything in between these two. We're going to do that now because we're going to keep that pretty light. So this is the second to the last color, so I'm going to start moving out that color. That last color that I put on there. Extending out here. Same thing here. Now I'm going to start going in here, and I'm not going to do anything on the 3 in the center at this point. But I'm going to do underneath each one. Underneath each one. Going to be kind of funny looking, but trust me, we'll keep going. Okay, underneath this one. Then we're going to go here and underneath this one. Here, underneath this one. Now we're going to start going from this way out. Oops, I touched in a little further than I really wanted to on that one, but I think we'll be okay. I'm going to extend out a little bit here, leaving a little bit of white space there. Now we have one color left. Looks like we have way too much stuff to color in with that last color, but I promise it'll all come together. So this is T4. And I'm just going to start blending this in now. And you'll watch how pretty that color gets. It's almost texturized looking. It's really beautiful. So we're going to do in here. Not too much in just that one line. I'm going to smooth out this line. This is going to make those in between look so much lighter than the sunken in parts to try to give that some texture and some dimension. So that is the reason that I didn't color these inside parts with the last color. So I want to keep those pretty dark so they look inset. And using just the lightest colors in between will enhance that look. Here we go with the last one. We want to blend that out so it's not a harsh line. Same thing here. And then we just need to do this part right here, which I'm going to do a little bit of a back and forth right here to really blend in that color right there. And you're going to have to do it more than once. And there we go. Look at our truck. Isn't that awesome? I love it. It's awesome. I think I'm a little bit darker here than I really wanted to be, so I'm going to keep working it just a little bit with this T4, and it will lighten it up. You can watch as I do it and you can see it. There we go. I think that's better. And then I'm going to go along this one more time, real light. Kind of darken that up just a tad bit. And that'll make it all match together. Love it. Now we have to repeat that same thing one more time. So if I hold it up, you can see. Look at how much texture that looks like it has. And now you can see the difference between the T's, the C's, and the W's. There is a difference in every one of those gray colors. This one has way more blue in it. Isn't that neat? This one has more like an earth tone to it. It's pretty cool. So there you go. What I want to do is make the door handle. I'm just going to use my mid-tone color, which was the T6, and just color my little door handle in. I'm going to do that for this one too, because I want it to be the same color. So now we got our little door handle done. And now we're going to repeat for this. And I think even having them in that dark black color is still going to look awesome with Christmas, especially if we put a whole lot more red and green stuff on around it. You like it? Let's do it one more time. T9. This is where we're going to start on the inside. Because we really want to keep that inside dark. I'm going to do the same thing here. This is a shadow. Same thing here. You can do this one a little faster because I've already shown it to you once, so you know what I'm doing. Christmas lights on the trucks. How awesome would that be? I don't even have any Christmas light stamps. Isn't that terrible? That's just super terrible. Okay, this truck is overlapping and we want to be able to see that. So I am going to put this very dark color right up against it. I'll have to think on that tonight since we're not gonna do the background on this truck. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night. There we go. Because I might have to come up with the Christmas lights or something. Or maybe we could even put something in here. I thought it would be neat to put words in there. Clean meat. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, just kidding. But I have another idea too. I have these really cool bows and I never can find a use for them. So I was kind of hoping that I could work them in a bit somewhere. Oh man, I was going to show them to you, but I can't seem to find them. I thought they were in this drawer right here. I thought I could just pull my drawer out and say, hey, look at these bows. These are awesome. But I do not see them. But anyway, I have these really cool bows, and they're not real big, but I thought if they would fit on the top of the vehicle, that would be amazing. So I'll have to find my bows, and then we can look at it and see if we can figure out how to put them on there. But I thought Christmas bows would look really cute on the tops of the vehicles. And I think I have red and green, so I thought, that might be interesting. So this is T7. This is the next one. So I'm just going to start going in there with what we did before. But yes, we got to do something Christmassy with these. But yes, I definitely wanted to make this a Christmas card. And that's why I chose red and green for the trucks. Not that I know anyone who drives a truck like this, but I thought it would be super fun. And they don't really have to drive a truck. Just have to have a guy in the family. Garland. Garland's a good idea too. Going down here. And we're going to go around that. Again, we're going up here. Now we're going to go across the top. Start extending out. I don't want to extend out quite as far because remember we made it really dark last time and I didn't really want it to be as dark as it was. So we're going to do it just a little bit lighter. You have one in your backyard. That's right, you do. Maybe you're getting this Christmas card then, Mom. I have most of my Christmas cards done already. I mean, I have more than enough to give to everyone I want to give to, and don't think I don't give a ton of cards away for Christmas. Usually it's somewhere between 50 and 75, but I already have that many made. I have tons of cards made, let me just tell you. There is no problem with card supply here at the Ledoux house. I never get in a bind. I never have to buy any cards. This is my true color, so I'm going to start putting in some of the around the outside. There is no short supply of cards. But I do give away cards for Christmas, so my card supply will go down a little bit at Christmas time. And then this was the true color, so this is the one we went along the bottom only. See? You made 20 for Dad. Awesome. And only one for yourself? You send out a lot of cards, Mom. I know that you do. Okay, so that gets us a little bit more of that. This next color is the one where we start putting it a little bit more all over the place. T5, that's the next one. So we're going to start pulling out those colors. Where we put them, we're going to finish this underside. We're going to swish over it a couple times to blend out that line so we don't have that line in there. And then we're doing under these, along here, and under this one, under this one. Then we're going to go along here. We have to go over it more than once because we don't want to leave a big black line. Oh, you like it? Thank you, Lily. And then we're going to go from here out. And then from here back. I'm going to use this color to lighten that up just a little bit more because I wanted it lighter after the fact. So we know how to adjust for the next blending to make it just a little bit lighter. You can already tell that this part of the truck is a little bit lighter than that part was when we got done. They don't have to be exactly the same at the end of the day, that it is handmade. And no two trucks are exactly the same anyway, so. This is our last color. We're going to start blending in that color, getting that filled in, getting rid of any lines we can see. So we got to be careful by this. Also, by the way, did you guys notice we didn't get any red in our gray? I'm so happy. That was really good. No red in our gray, no gray in our red. But we did miss this grill up here, so we have to go back and do that. I know it's a very small spot. Most people wouldn't notice that I missed coloring it in, but I noticed, so I have to fix it. No worries, though. We'll get it done. I thought, why not use these cards for these trucks for Christmas? They'd be so super great. You can use them for anything. That's why I love them so much. They're so universal. So I'm pulling out from this side first. I need to blend that out to make sure I don't have a line there. And then we're going to pull from this side to kind of lighten up the color just a little bit. Get that going the way that we want it to be. So now you can see it's very similar to this one. I'm going to do just a little bit more because I want it to look more like the other one. I think that's better. When it dries, it'll look more like the other one. And then these inset ones are the ones that I do now, and we have to work on smoothing out that line. So it's just a back and forth until we can smooth out that line. And it will smooth out. You just keep doing it. See? It worked out great. And then this one. And then we're going to start on this one. It's just kind of a back and forth. Just keep going back and forth over where those lines are to smooth them out. And they'll just start smoothing out on their own. Super awesome. There we go. Doing this one. Look at how beautiful that works. It's such a great technique that you can use. Hi, Karen. We're almost done with this part right here. I also have one other spot I haven't colored yet. Have you guys noticed what it is? Do you know what it is? Other than this little grill right there, there's one more place I did not color yet. And we are going to put red and green in those spots that we missed. Okay, so our grill was the C4 and C2. I'm going to try to use C4 at the bottom and then C2 over top the grill just to get that colored in. Headlights, I did the headlights in the blue and gray so you can kind of see that. The wheels, yes, the wheels. That's what we have to do. So I'm going to use red and green. I'm going to put, I should put red on this one and green on that one, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with the green in the front and the red in the back. And I'm going to do it with 3 of the 5 colors. So if the color combination went like this, oh, I did them backwards, so you guys will be confused. Hold on. Okay, so this was my color combination for green. G99, YG67, 63, and YG03. So if I want to cut this down to 3, I'm going to take these 2 out, and we're going to use these 3 for the wheels. I was looking at your YouTube. Hold on, I'm trying to read the comment. Just a second, or I'll be inviting people onto the page. I was looking at the YouTube to see the dinosaur images you colored back from June to July. Did you not load them? Did you not load them in there? Wanting to color them like the colors you did them in. Well, here's the problem. I load every YouTube video I can, but some of the YouTube videos, like some of the Facebook videos, Facebook blocks me and it won't give me the download option. And so if that was one of them, it won't be on there. But it's still on Facebook. So you could search for Sandy's videos, Sandy's dinosaur videos. Maybe you could find it that way, but it's definitely in the group. But they kept saying I was infringing on copyright music, and there's no music in my videos, so I don't really know why I was getting nabbed for that, but they still do it to me every now and then, and I don't understand why. So I'm doing just the bottom part of the little hubcap in the front. I'm not going to do the back because we're going to do those in red. but you can still find it. It's out there. And if you can't, then send me a PM and I will find it and I will tag you in it, and then it will pop up for you. Okay, so YG17 is the middle one, so we're going to go over the top and along the bottom, leaving a very small white spot in the center. Same thing on this one. Lighter on the top, darker on the bottom. And then we use the lightest color and we just touch, and I just dab, kind of like that, you know, process of dabbing right there over top of where the lightest spot is, and it will blend them all together. So I'm just gonna dab a little bit right over top, and there we go. So now we have these cute little green wheels. We're going to do the same thing with our red. So our red, this was our red combination, just so you guys can see how it all plays out. This was our red combination, 89, 39, 46, 24, 14. So if you want to cut that down to 3, you take the second one and the fourth one and leave the other 3. So that's the shadow, the midtone, and the highlight. These were accents. So we're going to take those out, and we're going to do the back hubcap that you can only see one of in these 3 colors. So the darkest one goes on the bottom of it, like that. Then the middle one goes all the way around, so around the top, and then extending out a little bit more from the bottom. And then the last color is R14, and we're going to do that dab over it, over and over and over until it blends together, and it's also pushing the color, so it leaves it a little bit brighter at the top. That's a little bit hard for me to see on the camera, so I will hold it up closer so you can see it. They look like little buttons. You can do them with buttons or hubcaps or whatever you want. So these are our vehicles for tonight. We're going to do a background for this and decorate it up for Christmas tomorrow night, but this is what I have for you so far. So what do you think? Did you guys like that? Did you enjoy that? If you have these trucks, are you going to color them? I love them. They're super cool. I mean, and you can do these anyway. I could have done the cabs gray and the backs green and red. I mean, just whatever you want. You can make it however you want. I love that you like them. Yay! So we'll create a background for this one tomorrow night. Yay! I'm so glad you guys liked them. And now you also got a lesson on grays, because W's, C's, and T's. So you get to see, so they really do look, each one looks different. And that's amazing, you know, I think. Anyway, they're way different. The only ones we didn't use were the ends, and we'll use them. Maybe we'll try to use ends on the background so you can see what the ends look like. Maybe we can make roads out of ends. And then we'll see all the grays in one picture. And that would be awesome. Can you mix them? Yes, you can mix them. You sure can. Mm-hmm. Yep. You sure can. So I think the only thing that I would do at this point, I mean, you could use some white gel pen on there, and you could put some accents on the windows or dots on the hubcaps or whatever. I'm not going to do any of that tonight, but the only thing I think I would do if I were going to do it is take this multi-liner. My multi-liners are getting beat down. Is go over these dots, just to make them a little bit more black. I don't know how much difference that'll make to you visually seeing it from where you are, but I would do it just to deepen them up a little bit so they look just a teeny bit different. That would be the only thing that I would do. You could put white gel pen, But I find that sometimes if I'm really happy with the picture and I play with the gel pen, I make a mess. I go overboard and I mess it up. So I am not going to do that tonight. But there we go. That just makes them stand out just a little bit more. You see a big difference? Hi, Daddy. Yeah, if you see a big difference, then there you go. See, to me, I think it makes them stand out a little more. I like them that way. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked it. Make sure you come back tomorrow night, 9:30 Central Time, and we'll do a background and finish up this Christmas card. Yay! Thanks for watching. I love that you guys hung out with me. Good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.